Welcome to a brief description of the impact of violence and nonviolence on fault lines and conflict. Virtually any conflict starts small, with a division typically defined by some previously latent difference between subgroups of people such as gender, ethnic background, or religion. It evolves by activating people previously on the sidelines and by defections from one side to the other, or by deactivation where some participants reduce their level of involvement. When people are killed and property is destroyed, the apparent perpetrators often make enemies. The apparent victims attract support from the sidelines. However, if the victims respond violently, they create other victims, which in turn often generates support for the initial apparent perpetrators, as happened earlier this year in Libya. If the two sides are fairly evenly matched, the situation can easily spin out of control. If, however, violence is met with nonviolence, people removed from the conflict by injuries, death, or imprisonment are often replaced by people previously on the sidelines, outraged over what they see as inappropriate violence. Recent examples include the overthrow of dictatorships in Tunisia and Egypt, and the fact that police violence against Occupy Wall Street arguably increased the number of nonviolent demonstrators. In some cases, the stronger side is able to crush the nonviolent resistance. In other cases, violence leads to defections that so weaken the violent side that the people with guns ultimately provide at least a partial accommodation to those practicing nonviolence. To better understand these phenomena, Stephan and Chenoweth asked leading political scientists to identify the major violent and nonviolent conflicts of the 20th century from 1899 to 2006. They identified 218 major violent efforts and 105 major nonviolent campaigns. 26% of the violent campaigns and 53% of the nonviolent campaigns achieved at least some measure of success. Two other studies focused on the long-term impact on freedom and democracy of successful violent and nonviolent change efforts. Both studies found that nonviolence on average is more conducive to freedom than violence. In sum, nothing is certain. Time and chance happeneth to us all. All of life is a gamble, but the wise gambler plays the odds, especially with odds so dramatically supporting virtue as in this case, where nonviolent resistance is at least twice as likely to achieve some apparent success as violence, and when the apparent success from nonviolence is twice as conducive to democracy as any results achieved nonviolently. For the latter, we could say that we better be careful what we ask for because we might get it, and it might not be what we want.